All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the second game in the Games of the Week. This is a series that I do. I'm going to do it twice a month. I'll let you know when. Follow the follow the Discord channel below if you'd like to see the stream schedule. So I'll be back next week with this series as well. This is going to be between Villese and Zuppi. On the right side, we have Villese playing as the Incas, and in blue, we have Zuppi playing as the Saracens. In the last games of the week, well, I don't want to spoil it, but the Saracens did pretty well in the last games of the week, and we saw a player really use them to their best advantage. That market bonus, I'm sure, helped them out quite a bit in the last game. We didn't see any Mamelukes, but we did see quite a few Arbalests. We did see siege ram, and we did see some cavalry, particularly some camels, and even monks. So we saw really all of the different things that the Saracens can offer with their extremely broad tech tree, with that market bonus helping out as well. So that's really the strength of the Saracens, is their broad tech tree. It's not with any super strong eco bonus or super strong military bonus. It's with their tech tree. And that tends to pay off the later the game goes, as opposed to the early game. They're certainly not an early game powerhouse by any stretch of the imagination. And the player that we have playing as the Saracens this time is going to be Zuppi. Now, Zuppi is a player that's played with the Finns for a very long time, played with the Finns in their Nations Cups, in the most recent ECL. Very strong player. I did even do a little mini-series on Zuppi, which is on my YouTube channel and on the Villese official YouTube channel, where I casted 3 games from Zuppi's career. Been around for a very long time, and he's playing his teammate Villese, who has not been around as long, but is, again, a very strong player. Oh, I just have to point this out. I hate that these villagers are on the same tree, but that's okay. Getting triggered. But Villese, a very strong player, has done very well in the 1v1 scene, I have to say. There's a lot of players that are on the cusp of, making it up that tournament ladder that, are just not quite at the level of players like Tato, MBL, or the Viper. But definitely can take games from them, and Villese is one of those players. Very strong player. Very good 1v1 player. This is going to be an excellent matchup. These players are at least 2k4 rated and above. Yeah, I say cavalry in a weird way. I never get it right, so don't even bother. I say a lot of things in a weird way. But that's not going to be changing. So both these players are very strong. Now the Incas, the Meso-civilizations are like the exact opposite of the Saracens. The Saracens are all about that tech tree, all about that late game. The Meso-civilizations have a very limited tech tree, not getting cavalry, not getting a lot of other things that a lot of civilizations get, like gunpowder. But they make up for that with their strong early game, strong military bonuses. A little bit of a scout scuffle there. What kind of bonuses do the Incas have? So their big one's going to be... I haven't played in a while. Their towers are cheaper. I have to think about it for a second. Towers are cheaper. They start with an extra bit of food with the extra sheep or llama. The Eagle Warriors, of course, a nice aspect of their tech tree. And the villagers benefit from blacksmith upgrades, which certainly helps their economy, helps prevent the loss of villagers. So they're all about that early game. Saracens are all about that late game. It's a very interesting style clash. Of course, what else matters in this matchup? We talked about the players. We talked about the civilization matchup. We'll see more of the civilizations as this goes. What also matters is the map. So Villese has a nice, safe gold. He can wall right here. So that gold is nice and safe compared to the last game with the last players, where that was a very open map. We have a stone here, but it is possible to wall this area, and walling always helps prevent raids, helps you feel safe. It's always an advantage, even if you choose not to wall there. These trees do make kind of a natural wall as well. And if Villese loses this wood line, he can just move over to this wood line over there. So this is a nice map for Villese. Some downsides, his other 2 golds are in the forward position and next to this hill. So this is definitely an area where Zuppi might be able to take advantage of. Thinking late feudal, castle age. But of course for now, Villese will have his gold nice and safe. Villese is going to go with an early barracks. It looks like he will go with a men-at-arms rush. So that is very typical of Meso-civilizations. You love the men-at-arms, because men-at-arms transition so well into archers. You don't want to go men-at-arms if you're going scouts, but of course the Meso-civs don't have to worry about that. So that's why you see men-at-arms so often from Meso-civs. Am I pronouncing Villese wrong as well? I think that's how you pronounce it. It's not pronounced Villese. Or how do you pronounce it? The caster has a nice voice. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. That's always the best comment you can get as a caster. Your casting voice is nice. Yeah, I really work on it a lot. Not really. But actually, I do. That's not true. So, Zuppi, 2 lumber camps there. Nice saturation. I just love to see nice saturations on drop-off points. I don't know. That's one of those things about Age of Empires 2 that I love. It's really weird. But no other game do you talk about that kind of thing, about having nice position on drop-off points. And that's why Age of Empires is great, because the macro management is actually so important and so difficult in this game. But that's definitely an aside. Let's talk about the important things in this game. We have got a scout rush for Zuppi, going with a stable. I'm going to build it with 2 or 3 villagers. Always build your stable with more than 1 villager. That was a mistake I made early on. And Zuppi's going to go with the Scout Rush, so there you go, a little bit of that Saracen versatility. They can go for Scouts. Obviously, Villese can't go for Scouts. These Saracens get Bloodlines, but notably, Saracens don't get any early eco bonuses. So this Scout Rush is not as strong as like a Magyar Scout Rush, which of course have attack bonuses, or the Hun Scout Rush, where they have a good eco. This is just a normal Saracen Scout Rush. And he's going to need some Scouts out pretty soon, because these Men-at-Arms are right there. This is a good engagement. Going to take off tons of HP on that Eagle and then move back. This is what you want to do with Scouts. You want to use that mobility. Want to build enough to be able to take a good engagement against Men-at-Arms, because of course Men-at-Arms are a little bit stronger than Scouts. But that mobility really helps pay off. Now what Villese wants to do to keep these Men-at-Arms alive is add a few Spearmen. Once that Spearman gets in that mix, this is a tough army to break. Using that mobility to take the top of the hill, kill the Eagle Warrior, that makes that army a lot weaker, less line of sight on these Men-at-Arms. Of course, won't be seeing tracking. And try to take off as much HP from these Men-at-Arms as possible before that Spearman comes in. Here he comes. Going to use that mobility to take down the Scout. Again, Men-at-Arms are stronger, but it's all about that mobility. So able to take out that Men-at-Arms even before he was able to get off an attack. That's just how melee units work in Age of Empires. They like to get clumped up. Mobility is everything. And now that Spearman's in there, but how much is 2 Men-at-Arms and a Spear going to do? How much damage is that going to do? Let's see. So far, perfect plays from Zuppi. Now, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to do damage with these Scouts because we have full walls from Zuppi. Easy walls for Zuppi. But so far, these Scouts doing a good job to defend. You don't want to over-invest in Scouts, though, because you're not going to be able to do the damage. You do want to transition quickly into an archer range if you're Zuppi, and that's a mistake that I often make. Now let's see if this villager is going to die. She is not. So Zuppi should be saving up enough wood for an archer range. He's got a lot of food already coming in. Both players getting their eco upgrades. And now it's going to take an engagement against that Spearman. Let's see how much damage the Spearman can do. Going to go after the strong Scout, so it's going to take 2 hits there. Men-at-Arms going to get another Scout. That's okay. Oh, going to get another Scout. So not the best plays. But I think Villese definitely was targeting the weak Scouts. So good play from Villese, targeting those weak units, trying to get as much value out of those Men-at-Arms as possible. And right now, if you're both players, you have to be happy with how the game is going, or at least you're not losing too much. I think this archery range is late for Zuppi, just based off the timings. I feel it. I feel like it's a little late. Villese has had that archer range up for some time, already building his 4th archer. Villese now getting the wheelbarrow upgrade nice and early. That's definitely going to boost his food economy. I think you'd rather prefer to be in Villese's position with the civilization matchup with these walls. So I think you're feeling a little bit of pressure if you're Zuppi, and because of that, you're going to add a bunch of walls. And there we go. Those walls are definitely going to help. Make Zuppi feel nice and safe, which he needs to. All right. So I think Zuppi definitely should be thinking about getting the wheelbarrow upgrade. Great boost to your food economy. Going to get at with that Saracen market. You want to get that market up as soon as possible so you can make use out of that bonus. As I say, that villager is going to not work on that market, but there it is. A lot of interesting things you could do with the Saracen market. Keep an eye on the resources tab here. Zuppi's actually going to click up in a good time, so downside to getting that archery range up late is, of course, not having military out. In fact, Zuppi hasn't even built anything from that archery range. But the upside is you spend more wood on those farms, so you get more food early on. So right now, Zuppi is giving up the map control. He's giving up the army lead to Villese, and here comes Villese's archers, but Zuppi should be up to the next age sooner. Should be up right now. Got to click right now. Sell a little bit of wood. Use that Saracen market to get that gold. Don't wait for these villagers to drop it off. These are precious seconds that Zuppi is wasting. Now up to 940 food. Could even sell food for gold. Instead, he's just going to force drop it off. I don't like that decision. That is a good 15, 20 seconds that Zuppi could have been in the castle age sooner. And now Villese is not going to be very far behind. Villese clicking up just a little bit later. Didn't have that Saracen market. Of course, he had other eco bonuses, as the Incas. But that was a little bit of an advantage that Zuppi gave up. And now Zuppi is far behind in military. I think Zuppi should definitely hit the gas on skirmisher production. He definitely needs it. Zuppi, however, going to get a nice scout off on Villese's base. Not really seeing too much. Oh, thank you, Biello. Appreciate it. Yes, this channel has some pretty good casters. And Zuppi going to try to fortify these walls a little bit, but these walls are very weak. And that villager's going to die right away. I love how the blood just goes everywhere with this mod I'm using. It is great. And those archers actually not going to pressure these walls too much. So Zuppi does have a few skirmishers. Zuppi's taking a lot of gold. This eco management is very sloppy, actually. Because Zuppi is taking tons of gold. This is enough gold for like 3 archery ranges with just archers coming out. But instead we're seeing skirmishers. Now luckily, again, as Saracens, that's not too big of a problem. You can just buy whatever resource you need. And hopefully Zuppi does that. You got to make use out of these small bonuses you get as the Saracens to keep you alive for that late game where your tech tree can pay off. But there we go, into the Castle Age. Bosaw, Conquerors coming in. This is sloppy too. Just so many villagers are bumping into each other. Not liking Zuppi's economy management. This game doesn't have wheelbarrow either. So that's where I think the advantage is for Zuppi. Zuppi just has a better economy. He had those bonuses. It's just a lot more clean. Don't see any villagers bumping into each other. The gold has good saturation on it, and he's making a gold unit to make use out of it. Look at how many crossbows he has. But Villese, why not go forward with your army? Why are you staying so defensive? What are these crossbows even doing back here? Because Zuppi doesn't have any army. Zuppi's actually going for cavalry archers. Okay, so he is going to make use out of that gold. Interesting, interesting. So when are cavalry archers good? Before in Age of Conquerors, when I used to cast a bunch of Age of Conquerors maps, the answer was they're never good unless you're Huns. But that's not the case anymore. The cavalry archers are good if you're a civilization that gets most or all of the cavalry archer upgrades, which the Saracens do. They also get an attack bonus versus buildings, which is nice. But cavalry archers are particularly good on maps like Arabia, where you can hit and run. They also are a little bit better against eagle warriors than crossbows. I'm sorry, they're actually a lot better against eagle warriors, in case we see eagle warriors from Villese, so that is something to take into consideration. And they're especially good if you don't want to make the expensive, it's not really expensive, but if you don't want to make the elite skirmisher upgrade or the crossbow upgrade, because you didn't make any in feudal age. So this is a good situation for cavalry archers. And again, going towards that Saracens diversity of tech tree, I didn't even think about cavalry archers. Saracens get every upgrade you need except for maybe cavalier. So, okay, it looks like Zuppi actually surviving. Villese could have been doing damage earlier. He had so many crossbows in that early Castle Age that he could have taken out one of these walls right away, gone onto the gold, killed everything on the gold before the Siege Workshop was even up, maybe even caused a GG right there. But Villese staying super defensive, definitely a big mistake from him. And now, as long as Zuppi keeps these cavalry archers alive a little bit longer and waits for them to get, thumbering, ballistics, they'll be a strong army to definitely combat. Oh, halberders. Yeah, they don't get halberders, but they do get heavy camels, so that does make up for it a little bit. Let's see if these cavalry archers are going to get a good raid off. This is why you like cavalry archers. They're good at raiding. Going to go for all those wolves first, I think. Oh, might have tipped, that wolf might have tipped Villese off. So not a good raid. But going to idle that town center just a little bit, and it's going to get out of there with those cavalry archers. Sure, you could stay here and idle that town center, but these crossbows are hot on the cavalry archers' trail. And still, Zuppi's economy is not looking... I just don't like the way, I don't like the way, like, these lumber camps need to be refreshed. These gold miners are bumping into each other too much. Just does not look clean. Meanwhile, Villese on 3 town centers. Just a much better looking economy. And Zuppi is going to have to transition to another gold pretty soon, as he's eating up a lot of gold with these cavalry archers. I think there are, what is it? 40 wood, 6... Oh. I can't believe I can't remember the cost of these guys. Someone remind me in the chat. But they eat up a lot of gold. And this is not a good fight. You're going to want thumb ring on cavalry archers. You're going to want ballistics. But with the mangonels, this could be a good fight. Going to get a good hit on these crossbows, taking off a lot of HP. But now we have staggered formation. Mangonel coming in. The mangonel battle is extremely important. Zuppi bringing over as much military as he possibly can. Bringing over the skirmishers. Finally getting the wheelbarrow upgrade. So cavalry archers get much stronger with the upgrades. Needs thumb ring, needs ballistics, for sure. Right now they have bloodlines, they have husbandry. See how these mangonels do. That's another decent shot. Gonna repair up that mangonel. Oh, just barely too late. Barely too late. Let's see if the villager can repair it this time. He's gonna repair it this time. Decent hits with the mangonels. And now look at how many cavalry archers Zuppi has. Lots of cavalry archers. Still want to see those upgrades. Definitely want to see those upgrades. So far, I think this cavalry archer play is going to be working out pretty well for Zuppi. It's getting stronger and stronger as time goes on. Villese didn't do that damage early on. That's when you want to hit a player going straight cavalry archers. That's where the weakness of the strategy is. Let's see how this mangonel trade goes. Zuppi gonna get a huge hit off those crossbows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 crossbows down. Gonna trade off the mangonels as well. Good hit from Zuppi. Gonna go for a raid with the cavalry archers. Not going to kill any villagers because it doesn't have that ballistics upgrade. And now he can just get out of there, or he can move over here and still get out of there. Crossbows are going to be chasing the cavalry archers, but these cavalry archers are going to be too fast unless they get stuck in a corner. Now Zuppi taking the lead for economy. He didn't get the economy upgrades. His economy was messy, but he's got the cavalry archers, and the cavalry archers make so much of a difference. Still not able to kill the villagers. Might get one. Gonna get one villager, maybe 2. But this is still idling the economy. Now Zuppi has to get out of here. Let's check Zuppi's point of view. He doesn't see the crossbows yet. This could be dicey. These crossbows might be able to catch out these cavalry archers. Remember, ballistics is done for Villese. This is huge. These cavalry archers cannot run. They can take the hill. Let's see who's gonna win this engagement. Zuppi's gonna try to get out of there. How many cavalry archers is he gonna lose? He's gonna lose 2. Gonna lose 3. Gonna lose 4. Gonna lose almost 5. So that could have been a lot worse for Zuppi. That was a good positioning from Villese. Getting right next to those cavalry archers, cutting off those cavalry archers as they were in the corner of the map. But was it enough? Gonna kill some more. Villese, what are you doing? Get out of there with your cavalry archers. Gonna take a hit with the mangonel. Now using that mobility to take a good engagement. However, Villese is up to the next age, and I think that Villese is going to want to do some serious damage, maybe end this game in the early Imperial Age. Because if this goes to Imperial Age and these cavalry archers get their upgrades, they still need ballistics, they still need thumb ring. If they get heavy cavalry archer, Parthian tactics especially, and all that extra armor that these cavalry archers can gain, it's going to be really, really tough to stop them with crossbow. It's probably going to even be tough to stop them with Eagle Warrior. So again, Villese, playing as the Incas, has an advantage in the earlier ages, in this early Imperial Age, but if this goes to late Imperial Age, I really love the Saracens. So right now, Zuppi trying to do as much damage as possible. Right now, his army is stronger, if not just a little slightly. But Villese's army is going to get a lot stronger as soon as that Imperial Age comes in. And this is good. Zuppi cutting off of Villese's stone income. I think you only need like 480 stone or maybe 520 stone for a Inca castle. So it's great that he's cutting that off right now while his opponent is at 327 stone. Another archer range coming from Zuppi. Fully committed to the cavalry archers. Another archer range from Zuppi. Zuppi needs to get onto another gold. Where the heck is he taking gold? So that's his main gold. I didn't point out the secondary golds. That's my fault. Earlier in the game. There's the secondary stone. But these two main golds, that is a huge problem for Zuppi. Zuppi needs to be on this gold. Sure, he can sell his stone. He's playing the Saracens, remember? He can sell his stone, he can sell his wood, can sell his food for gold, but he will need this gold. And that could be a problem with Villese getting these extra upgrades. Where is Villese's army? It's over in the top side. Yeah, not if the Incas get couriers. If the Incas get couriers, that could be another story, of course. Everything's dependent on the upgrades. Yeah, I always mix up players' names. I apologize. I do like to call them by their names and not by their colors. But, yeah, that's one of my faults. So, Arbalest, chemistry coming in. Now, oh, it's a shame these walls don't get up, because that would have been great. Alright, now these Arbalests are very strong. Zuppi has no way to combat the Arbalest right now. Good, maybe transition to lead skirmisher. What we really need to see is Zuppi survive until he can get all those upgrades for the cavalry archers. And looks like Zuppi might take some more losses. This is very risky. You could lose 3 mangonels. You could also get big shots with the mangonels. Right now, look at the map control. Villese taking over the entire map with his army. Zuppi not stonewalling there. But I don't think he needs to. So Arbalest doing a little bit of damage, not doing too much yet. If Zuppi can get this castle up, then he'll secure the gold. He'll be golden. Let's see if he can do it. We have Ballistics is done. Thumb Ring is coming in. Bracer's coming in. That's a big one. And Villese, not going for the middle of the map, has chosen to raid in the north. To be honest, I don't think this is doing that much damage. I think if he took over the middle, I think Villese has not realized the situation. Zuppi is running out of gold. Zuppi has only 1 gold in his base. He's out of gold in his base. Zuppi needs to take a look at the map, step back for a second. Unfortunately, you can't zoom out like I can. Step back for a second and say, hey, my opponent is making cavalry archers. They only have 1 gold in their base. I need to take over this gold. And what is this from Zuppi? Only building a castle with 3... This castle should have been up already. What? Oh, man. I thought Zuppi was going to get this castle up for sure. But he only built it with 3 villagers. Oh, no. Oh, gosh. What is happening? I think Villese might actually be able to deny his castle. Now, here comes a castle from Villese. Armies coming back from Zuppi. Do the cavalry archers have enough upgrades? I don't know. Right now, we have chemistry and we have all the upgrades for these Arbalests. These Arbalests are maxed out. These cavalry archers have many more upgrades to go. Let's see who wins this fight. We do have the hill advantage, though, for Zuppi. Villagers are working on the castle. Such a critical point in the game. We have that skirmisher. The skirmishers are paying off. They're killing all the Arbalests. It's not strong enough. Villese does not have enough, and that castle is going up for Zuppi. Critical point in the game. Now it looks like Zuppi is going to be in a good position. We'll be able to take back gold. Now, unfortunately, did have to go into elite skirmisher to maybe because that's gold problems. Maybe that's to counter the Arbalest, but Villese is going to elite Eagle Warrior now. So let's see how that does. So Elite Eagle Warrior at this stage with all the upgrades will destroy the Cavalry Archers. Of course, it depends so heavily on the upgrades for the Cavalry Archers. They will annihilate the Skirmishers regardless of the upgrades. Yeah, almost a huge Titanic. Never build your castle with 3 villagers. Always build it with however many villagers you need to build it with. Alright. So it looks like Zuppi is in a good position, but we have that Eagle Warrior transition. Now remember, this is it for the Incas. The Incas don't have any more units to build. We have Siege Ram done, we have Eagle Warrior done, we have Arbalest done. That is all the Incas get. We won't see Slinger. We won't see Kamayuk most likely. This is their army composition. This is their lack of versatility, but at the same time, it is a strong army composition if you're ahead in their early Imperial Age, which Villese is. Now, the Saracens have many more options, but will they get to the strength of those options? Will they get to the fully upgraded heavy cavalry archers? Will they get to Mameluke? I don't know. But right now, we got that positioning from Zuppi. 2 castles on top of the hill, taking over all that gold. And my bad, the Incas don't get Siege Ram. I remember that one. Yeah, the Incas, no Meza civilization is considered versatile. So let's think about all the options the Saracens have to deal with this army right now. They could... Is chemistry done? Well, chemistry's not done, but if chemistry was done, we could see hand cannons. And hand cannons are great against Eagle Warriors. We don't see that right now. Instead, we're seeing Mamelukes, a very weird decision. Mamluks are typically... They're good against melee units with the upgrades. They, of course, build slow from 2 castles. They're great against cavalry, but you won't see cavalry with the Incas, so I question that army decision. Now we have a castle on the left side. We'll be able to take out all these buildings and be a good avenue for raiding, and it's on top of the hill. Good castle. So these Eagle Warriors, they want to raid. That's what Eagle Warriors do best. They raid. Let's see if they'll be able to do so. Siege Ram coming in. My bad, the Incas do get Siege Ram. I haven't cast it for a while. Send me back to the 2-player lobby. Jesus. Oh boy. Always the best comments. So here comes this Eagle Warriors. Castle coming up. It looks like it will get up in time. But this is going to be some massive damage from these Eagle Warriors regardless. Do we have any more cavalry archers left? We do. So they're going to go to work. They need chemistry. Chemistry is a big upgrade against Eagle Warriors. We have siege engineers coming in. A lot of upgrades. Villese doing a lot of damage to Zuppi. Right now, villager count is pretty close. We have a 15 villager lead for Villese. So Eagle Warriors doing some great raiding. More raiding coming in on the left side. We have this trebuchet. It's out of position. I like this play from Villese, just avoiding the big castles in the middle. Go for the raiding. That's what your civilization does. Zuppi going for elite Mamluk. I do not like this at all. I think that Mamluk and Cavalry Archer kind of play the same role, and you've already upgraded the Cavalry Archer. The Cavalry Archer is easier to make out of the archery range. And I think they'll do okay against the Incas as long as they don't have couriers, that is. So I guess late game, the Mamluk is definitely going to be better against Eagle Warriors. They do melee damage. Eagle Warriors have low melee damage. But I think Zuppi is taking too much damage, and this is always the problem with the Saracens. They have the versatility, they have the strong late game units, but Zuppi's taking too much damage in the meantime. Needs to stop the bleeding, needs to clean up the army, needs to get some trebuchets out and clean up this castle. We have some really good upgrades from Villese. These Eagle Warriors are going to be fully upgraded. The Arbalests are fully upgraded. We, of course, had Siege Ram with Siege Engineers. And now we even have pikemen coming down. Depends what your definition of versatility is. For example, the Mayans are definitely not a versatile civ, but they do their thing so well that just having Eagle Warrior Plumed Archer combination basically counters everything in the game, so depends what your definition of it is. I think of versatility as potential, more as potential to be able to do a lot of different things well. Saracens, of course, never, in 1 versus 1 anyway, never realized that potential as much because they're lacking other things like an economy bonus. Like a good economy bonus, that is. But now we have Mamluks. They're pretty strong. They don't have zealotry yet. They don't have the last attack upgrades. Iron casting coming down. That'll help make them stronger. It's a strong unit. It's definitely a very strong unit. It's a very gold-intensive unit. Right now we don't have a lot of gold income from Zuppi. Most of his villagers died on the gold. He needs to transition some of these woodcutters over to gold. But here we go. Strength of the Mameluke. Able to eat right through those skirmishers. Do okay against the Arbalest. Definitely do okay against the Eagle Warriors, but will we have enough? Now we have siege rams coming in. Going to take out these buildings extremely fast. Looks like Villese has done his job and got out those trebuchets to take out the castle. That is great. Zuppi needs to stem the bleeding. I think he should also try to raid a little bit with cavalry archers. Try to put them in the little corners. Try to use that mobility. Could try to raid with Mamelukes as well. You want to defend and attack at the same time. Aren't Mamelukes one of the most expensive units in the game? They definitely are. Another benefit of Mamelukes, though, is that since they do that melee damage, they should be able to take care of the rams. So again, Mamelukes stronger than Cavalry Archer, but it is more expensive, more difficult to get out. And that's kind of why Zuppi has been taking so much damage in this early Imperial Age. Now going into mid-Imperial Age, I love how the scimitars hit the Eagle Warriors and they just burst full of blood. That's the best thing ever. But now a little bit of momentum for Zuppi. He's got a huge mass of Mamelukes. It is going to be so hard. for Eagle Warriors to attack that. I would love to see the Zealotry upgrade for an extra 30 HP, but that's a whopping like 800 gold. Now we have Halberdier coming out. And it's very important Zuppi doesn't lose his castle. This is defending the gold. It's such a nice position. I think you could run in there with the Mamelukes, but run in there with the Mamelukes. They're kind of getting caught on pathing. And I think you could take a good engagement here if you're Zuppi. Just try to keep that castle up in the meantime. There you go. Attack and run away. Attack and run away. Not really going to go in there, though. I think too scared of the skirmishers. There's no real counter to the skirmishers. Mamelukes don't really counter skirmishers. And there we go. Courier's tech coming in. So those Eagle Warriors are going to be impervious, basically, to the Cavalry Archers, which don't even have chemistry. Or Heavy Cavalry Archer. So we have all these Mamelukes. And I think we need... What do we need in this army composition? So skirmishers will help deal with the halbs. That's good. Skirmishers can also do okay against other skirmishers. That should be a given. And I think Zuppi's army is definitely stronger. What is this? Oh, gotta be careful. Zuppi's army is definitely stronger. But will he have the resources to maintain this? Right now, there's no raiding going on. This is a very close game. Zuppi needs to maintain control of here. If he can saturate these golds, then I think he should be in a good position. But to do that, he's going to have to win this fight. He absolutely has to win this fight. He's got that hill advantage. This is a bad fight for Villese. Going to be fighting uphill. And I think your goal as Villese is just to maintain... You can control this area without taking the castle. You can park some trebs here, make sure your opponent doesn't take this gold, and then just try to raid through the middle of the base. That's the best plan. Instead, he's going to try to raid through the north side of the base. That's also a good idea. Limit your opponent's access to gold. Go straight for those golds. Without the golds, no more Mamelukes can be made. And this should be a freebie. This should be a freebie for Zuppi. Go straight after those trebuchets. It's going to take 2 hits. Too scared of the halbs, though. And now Villese doing some good raiding. We haven't seen any raiding from Zuppi. He's got the mobile army, but just doesn't have the confidence to be able to go raid. And still, this gold not being able to be saturated. This gold will run out pretty shortly. This gold at the top not really being saturated too much. And there's Eagle Warriors in this area. Zuppi needs to rebuild that wall and take out that siege ram. And boy, would it be nice if Zuppi still had that castle right there. That would really help to lock down this gold. So I think Villese doing the damage in that early Imperial Age... Just the only thing that's scary are so many elite Mamelukes, especially if they can get that Zealotry upgrade. So now Zuppi adding in some stables. Zuppi could, of course, add Hussar. Hussar would be a very strong unit. But all these upgrades, they do cost gold. And will Zuppi have enough gold to make those upgrades? I don't know. I don't know if he will. These skirmishers still killing the villagers. On top of that gold, this gold's not being mined any longer. And look at the KD. It's not surprising. KD is in favor of Zuppi. It'll continue to stay in favor of Zuppi, I bet. So that KD will be even larger and larger. But the thing is, in Age of Empires 2, the resources are finite. The amount of gold on the map is finite. And Villese is not spending a whole lot of gold. As well, Villese might have more access to gold. I don't see where he took the extra golds. I should have pointed out the extra golds a little bit earlier. That's my fault. But I don't see too many on the map any longer. In fact, there's only 2,000 gold left, so really all the extra gold is right here in the middle, and then just a little bit in the north. There's only 500 there. Okay, so if you're Villese, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep depriving your opponent of gold so they can't make upgrades like Hussar, they can't make Zealotry, they can't make Siege Ram. And continue to raid with Eagle Warriors, that's really the strength. And if you're Villese, continue to defend. Make sure you take as much of that gold as possible. Get the Hussar upgrade up. Try to conserve your gold as much as possible. And make use out of that tech tree. And we might be seeing a little bit of a shift. It's hard to tell. I think Zuppi's getting a little bit stronger. He's got so many skirmishers. The skirmishers will tank the arrow fire from the other skirmishers. So these Mamluks don't have to worry about it as much. And the Mamluks just might not be effective enough against Halbs. That might be the problem. But I guess that's what the skirmishers are for. So just make sure you always have enough skirmishers if you're Zuppi. And try not to do this. Try not to get the Mamluks in a position where they would get destroyed. But this is pretty good. That one Hussar going to take a lot of skirmisher fire. Light cav. Hussar's going to be a great upgrade if Zuppi can ever afford it. It's 600 gold for the Hussar upgrade. I think that's where the gold should be going. But right now, Zuppi not able to get that gold. Hussar might be the game changer. It might be the thing that wins or loses Zuppi the game, if he can afford that upgrade. There is 400 gold there, that is definitely enough for Hussar. If you can afford the food costs associated with it as well. Alright, so for now, just trade the skirmishers off, wait for that Hussar upgrade, and then push out. We have good stone resources for both players, actually. I think Zuppi got to make use out of that stone. Place a castle there. Place a castle in this area. Lock down this area, especially with that extra gold. I'm a little disappointed if Villese doesn't add a castle. Or 2, or 3. Using the Treb. Well, the Trebs... You've really got to take down those Mamluks any way you can. Villese getting extra aggressive and is going to go for the castle. It's going to do a lot of damage at that early stage. Let's see if Zuppi is going to try to take advantage of this. Not take advantage. Going to take an engagement. So I love this from Villese. He's got so many Trebs they can kill a castle instantly, and that's not good. That's not good. Zuppi lost another castle. And right now, just a few Hussar. There's not nearly enough Halbs in this composition. A few Hussar would change the game. Now Treb's killing so many skirmishers. We're just not seeing it. Zuppi gonna call GG. I think if Zuppi afforded the Hussar upgrade, got a few of them out there, this would be a completely different story. But he could not afford it. Villese making sure his opponent stayed off of this gold. Remember, this was one of the main goals of Zuppi. And Villese using those early game advantages, that early Imperial Age, to do enough damage to the Saracens, so they couldn't do enough. So the Saracens couldn't get all their upgrades, couldn't make use out of their very broad tech tree. And, yeah, I guess the theme of this week is strengths and weaknesses of the Saracens. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed the game. My name's Nobody.